everybody. Welcome back to the Nature Cure Summit, where we are talking about the fact that all you need to heal, grow, and thrive can be found in nature, the universe, and within yourself. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Sands, and throughout this summit, I've been speaking with experts from across the globe through a variety of different healing modalities to really help you harness the power of nature and your own vital force so that you can live your best life. And today we're talking with Eva Wennes. Eva is a Pilates instructor, a corrective exercise specialist, and she specializes in helping people who have suffered from chronic pain or who have a condition that causes them discomfort, such as asthma, Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis. She helps them to eliminate pain naturally so that they can really get out there and do the things they love and enjoy their life. Eva is an advanced level corrective exercise specialist, and she specializes in the biomechanics method, which is something that we'll talk about later. She does one-on-one training at her facility in San Diego, California, and she also does online coaching in corrective exercise and rehab. So today we're going to be talking about how you can eliminate pain without drugs and surgery. So Eva, I'm super excited to have you here on the summit. Welcome.
Hi, Michelle. Thank you so much for including me. It's an honor to be on your summit.
Oh, thank you, Eva. We're so excited because I think your topic is going to be something that resonates with everybody watching. We all have experienced pain. Some people live with lower back pain, joint pain, all different kinds of pain. And then some people have those chronic conditions where they suffer on a daily basis. And having a tool to be able to eliminate that pain without taking a bunch of prescription drugs or going under the knife is so valuable. But before we get into your tools and techniques, I'd really love to hear a little bit about what got you interested in movement to begin with. Like, why were you drawn to Pilates, and why did you go even further to really get into corrective exercise?
So this goes back to a different life, actually, when I had a desk job, like probably so many of our so many people in our audience. And it was back in my early 20s, and I just started developing all kinds of aches and pains. One of them was sciatica. And I noticed that when I went to the gym after work and I moved and I worked out, then I always felt better. So that already started me on the path of taking care of myself and just trying to reverse the effects of daily life, and especially sitting for 8 to 10 hours a day. Then I suffered a skiing accident, and I tore my left ACL, MCL, and meniscus. Mm-hmm. So after the accident, I had to have knee surgery, reconstructive surgery, and it was a long road to healing. It took me about a year to get back on my feet and just start moving and feeling better again. And it was a very difficult, very challenging 1 year for me because, first of all, I couldn't work out. I couldn't exercise. You know, I had a heavy limp. My knee wasn't moving. So it took me several months to get my movement and my function back. And during those months, I actually came across Pilates. A friend of mine took me to a Pilates class, and I just absolutely loved it because I was able to do most of the class with the other students. And I was like, wow, Pilates is amazing. It was also a body and mind type of exercise when you engage your mind and you really pay attention to what you're doing and how you're moving. So that actually opened up my eyes to some of the faulty movement patterns that I developed while I was trying to heal my knee. And I still didn't think about choosing Pilates for a career, but one thing happened to another. And also this friend who took me to Pilates, he really encouraged me because he thought that I would make a good Pilates instructor. So 1 year, a couple of years after my surgery, I just had that aha moment that, wow, maybe this is something that I could do. So I got certified in Pilates and I started teaching in a Pilates studio. And that was just the beginning of a long, long path. When somebody gets certified in teaching any kind of exercise regimen, we know so little about the body. Like that real life experience starts when the clients start coming in, and we are facing different challenges, because one person has a hip replacement, the next person has spinal fusion, the third person has a frozen shoulder. So many people turn to Pilates because their doctor, their physical therapist, their massage therapist tells them that this is going to help their low back pain, it's going to help their ankle or foot pain or knee pain. So people who are hurting are coming into the Pilates studios. So there's a huge responsibility on the Pilates instructor to know what that person needs and how to help that person. So basically, that's what really sparked my interest and started me on the path towards corrective exercise, because I started getting these clients who they had trust in me that me as a Pilates instructor will be able to help them. So I just started reading and learning and studying and experimenting with them as well. Since I was working out so much, I started developing aches and pains in my body as well. And that's what basically introduced me to the biomechanics method, which I am now certified in. I was lucky enough to live in the same neighborhood as the founder of the biomechanics method. His name is Justin Price, and him and I both lived in San Diego in the same time. So I started seeing him for pain elimination, and it was just a huge eye-opener for me. First of all, the biomechanics method starts out with a very thorough musculoskeletal assessment. Whenever I assess someone's body, I need to understand where that pain is coming from, what is the main source of the problem, because I could give the client stretches and strengthening exercises, but I would be just shooting in the dark. I really need to do a very thorough assessment in order to understand my client's postural deviations, faulty movement patterns, where they have excessive tightness, where they have too much movement, where they're not moving very well. So whenever I started seeing Justin Price for my own aches and pains, he took me through this assessment process. And it was a huge eye-opener for me. All of a sudden, I realized my own postural deviations, that I was standing in a certain way. I favored one leg as opposed to the other. I was holding my head, my shoulders, that I was a little bit twisted one way. So as I said, it was a huge eye-opener. If somebody doesn't tell you these, and if somebody doesn't open up your eyes to your own body and your deviations, then you just don't know. So me as a young Pilates instructor who just got out of the training, this was just so beneficial, and it was such a huge help. The other steps of the biomechanics method is based on the assessment findings. We design a program for people who suffer from chronic pain. So the first step is myofascial release. Fascia is like a 3D connective tissue, like a web that interlaces the muscles and also covers the muscles. Whenever there is tightness in the fascia, then we have limitations in movement, and sooner or later it's going to manifest in pain. So after we do the discovery assessment, we can pinpoint the parts of the body where we really need to release the fascia. So I started working on that with Justin. He taught me what parts of my body I needed to release, and the release process is awesome, and it's so easy. Anybody can do that. once the person is taught how to do it. You need to use a foam roller or maybe something as simple as a tennis ball or a golf ball. And the techniques are really simple. Anybody can do them. Doesn't matter what age and what pain level the person has. There is a way and there is a level to address the problem. Following the myofascial release stage, we do some specific stretching. Okay, not every muscle in the body needs stretching because, believe it or not, some muscles in the body are overly stretched just from daily living, just the way we carry ourselves, just the things that we do throughout the day. So we need to identify what parts of the body are overly shortened, and that's what we need to stretch. Then the next step in the biomechanics protocol is targeted strengthening. Because again, not every muscle in the body needs strengthening, but whenever there's chronic pain in the body, then we need to target certain muscles and we need to be sure that those muscles are doing what they are supposed to do. So this is what the biomechanics method is about, and it was just a fantastic way for me to learn a whole lot more about my body and my client's body and what to do in order to eliminate my own chronic pain and also take it to the next level and help my clients as well. And just because I thought the biomechanics method was so fantastic and such a huge asset for me as a teacher, I got certified, and after completing the basic certification, I took it to the next level and I completed the advanced certification. So I started combining Pilates with the biomechanics method, and the results were fantastic. I do the same thing that Justin did for me. I take every single client through body assessment, so I have a really good understanding what that client needs, where their aches and pains stem from. Also, I'm very passionate about educating my clients because the clients need to understand what they do wrong, call it a postural change that people develop over time, or just a faulty movement habit that they develop over time. If they understand that they have that habit or they have that change in the body, they can work on reversing it and eliminating it. So it's teamwork. I do my part in the studio and they do their part whenever we are not working together. So basically, just learning more about the human body, just learning more where pain comes from, it keeps pushing me to know more and to understand more and help more and more people. This is how I came across Dr. Gary Gray, who is a doctor of physical therapy and the founder of the Gray Institute. And I'm a huge fan of Dr. Gray. He does instructor training as well. He teaches physical therapists, body workers, Pilates instructors, fitness instructors of how to work with people who have chronic pain and what to do for people to help eliminate that pain. He has a similar but a different approach from the biomechanics method. His main focus is just looking at the body globally. So as opposed to singling out a certain part of the body, for example, let's say that somebody suffers from neck pain. Mm-hmm. So if you go to physical therapy with your neck pain, they're going to massage your neck, they're going to mobilize your cervical vertebrae, they're going to give you neck stretches, they're gonna put heat or ice on your neck. Mm-hmm. But what if we looked at the body globally and we try to find causes of the neck pain somewhere else, lower down in the body? For example, in the shoulders, in the thoracic spine, in the hips, in the feet and the ankles, because the pain, most of the time, the cause of the pain is not where it hurts.
Right.
So that's what Dr. Gray teaches, and I completed a certification program with him as well. It's called Applied Functional Science, and now I combine Pilates, the biomechanics method, and applied functional science to help people heal from chronic pain. And I feel like this is a great trifecta. It's very, very effective. It has changed so many people's lives, and it just keeps me really excited about what I do. It makes me happy to come to work every day because it's just so rewarding to help people have a different life. Because people get depressed, people give up their hobbies, they stop traveling, they stop having fun in life when they hurt. It affects their relationships, it affects their families. It's not just the person who's hurting, but their kids don't get to play with mom and dad, their husband has to go hiking by themselves if mom is hurting. It just affects a family's life. It affects the individual's life. Nobody should be living with chronic pain for 20 or 30 years or even longer.
Yeah, I fully agree. And I love the way you kind of have this slow transition one step at a time, because you mentioned you noticed when you had your desk job, you would go exercise, you would feel better. So that's like one step, just moving, right? Just getting out there and moving your body is going to improve it. And then you had your knee injury and couldn't exercise. So you found a way through Pilates to still get your exercise in and support your knee and support healing in that way. And then you took it a step deeper to learn the biomechanics method, where you're working on your fascia, you're really targeting what muscles need to be stretched and where the pain is rooted from, and then going on with Dr. Gray to the whole body approach. So that is really kind of an interesting journey through dealing with pain, but you kind of modeled it yourself, which is, I find that refreshing, because a lot of times people are in pain and they just think that they have to sit with that pain, and they're almost afraid to move, right? Like they're afraid if they move more, they'll hurt more. So, you actually have a different view on that, obviously. So you are all about helping them move in a way that actually is going to free them from pain.
I see that all the time. People think that something is going to be too much for them. They shy away from movement. They shy away even from walking. But the more you sit, the worse you get. Your body is thriving on movement. The human body was designed to move. And we need to be moving in 3 planes. Okay, a lot of people hurt because they only move in one plane, which is flexion, extension, but most of it is flexion, sitting with the spine rounded all day, being on the computer. But our spine, and not just the spine, but the whole body needs to move in 3 dimensions. So we need to be able to side bend, and we need to be able to rotate. These are the 3 planes: flexion, extension, lateral flexion, and rotation. The body is thriving on that kind of movement. If you don't give your body variety in movement, but you always keep your spine in a flexed shape, then it's going to complain. It's going to manifest in pain. There's just not another way. And, sometimes people think that Pilates or just any kind of movement will be too much and too extreme. I hear it all the time that, I once took a Pilates class at the YMCA and I got really hurt. Yes, because it was a big group class and it was probably not for that individual's specific needs. That's why I only work with one person at a time, because I want to laser focus on that client. I want to be sure that they are comfortable. I want to be sure that they understand why we are doing what we are doing, because they need to understand how that exercise is going to serve them and help them. Also, any kind of movement can be toned down to somebody's level. There's a beginner level everywhere. And I work with people who have post-polio disease, very, very severe asthma, when they get panic attacks, when they can't breathe. I have clients with multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease. My oldest client at time was 94 years old. Right now, my oldest client is 86 years young. And he's amazing, you know, this keeps him going. It keeps him supple. He's moving much better. He still runs his company at the age of 86.
Wow.
So Pilates and movement can be done on so many different levels. There's always a beginner level. Movement can be toned down so much that anybody can do it, and there's something for everybody, you know?
Yeah, I love that, because I think when people think about, when you say Pilates, they picture like a big class at the YMCA or at 24-hour fitness where they're going to be doing these like sit-ups with all these other people. And it's intimidating because first of all, like they don't know they can do it. And second of all, they have an injury that they're dealing with. So, you know, there is no individualized attention. So I love that you're actually doing what's like a therapeutic form of Pilates where you're actually targeting it to the individual's needs. And that is completely safe because you're actually doing only the things.
Absolutely. And this is actually really funny. Once a client of mine who has extremely, just very, very tight body, the tightest person I've ever seen in my life, he made a comment on how great Pilates is and, you know, how much he enjoys and what are the benefits that he sees. And I told him, I said, you know what, we haven't even started doing Pilates yet. And he could not believe. He was like, this is not Pilates. I said, no, actually, you know, I'm teaching you how to release the tight fascia, the tight muscles in your body. So I'm teaching you how to foam roll. And then after that, we do some specific stretches. Then we do some specific mobilization, trying to get parts of your body moving where you're not moving properly. And we are doing some very, very gentle strengthening. But because of the malalignments in his joints from the excessive tightness, he's really not ready to exercise yet. So he thought that for the last 2 months we were doing Pilates, but I had to break the news to him and I said, you know what, this is not even Pilates yet, but don't worry about it because this is what your body needs at this point. Also, because most people can only come see me once or twice a week, I teach them a home program, you know. I teach them what to do at home and how to do it properly. I have YouTube videos that I share with my clients so they can watch the videos at home and we do the exercise together basically so they can copy me. A lot of it is just myofascial release, how to use the foam roller in specific areas of the body, how to use a tennis ball, for example, to release the tight lower back, or how to get rid of sciatica, again, just using a foam roller and a tennis ball. So I keep them accountable. The success, you know, is in both of our hands. I do my part, but they have to do their part as well. And I make them do the routines like 3 or 4 times a week at least. And then they come see me once or twice a week. So they do a lot on their own at home. And then they're going to see much faster results as opposed to if we would just do it together once a week in my studio. So I make sure that they do their homework and that they know how to do it properly. And of course, later on, I change it up. I give them specific stretches, specific mobility exercises. Also, for example, I have a client who has really bad foot and ankle pain, and she's a tennis player. So I taught her what to do before her tennis games, you know. I make sure that she mobilizes her feet, her ankles, she stretches the feet, stretches the calves, mobilizes her hips, her thoracic spine, her shoulders. So she has a little 5 or 10 minute routine before her games, but that's what she needs to do to keep herself pain-free and to keep her in the game. And she's happy to do that. It's a small price for a big reward in the end.
Yeah, so if somebody's just starting out and they're in pain, they're not moving, would you recommend starting with foam rolling or myofascial releases as a starting point, as an entry in? Is that something that you teach from a distance? Like if we don't live in San Diego, could someone get started with that part of it without actually flying in to see you?
Oh, absolutely. I do that all the time. I work with people from Guatemala, the other side of the United States. As I said, I'm in San Diego and I work with people from all over. I have clients in Philadelphia, in Vermont, in the Boston area. People do not need to live in San Diego or fly out to San Diego to learn these techniques. So what I do is I set up a video call with my clients and I look at their bodies. I make them do certain movements for me, just like if they were here in my studio. That way I can identify the causes of their chronic pain, and then I put together a routine for them. And we set up weekly calls when I walk them through the exercises. I make sure that they understand what they need to do and they do everything correctly. And I also share videos with them so they can watch the videos as they practice the exercises at home. And we update the program and we take it to the next level every single week. So it doesn't get boring. They see the results, they see the improvement, and it's just such an exciting thing to see how people just blossom and they get so happy about not having so much pain and also having the solution in their hands. Because everybody knows what it's like to try and get an appointment with a massage therapist just because they threw out their back, or trying to get in with the chiropractor because their neck or shoulders hurting. So it just leads to this dependency on a practitioner, you know?
Yes, and sometimes you go and then something else happens right after your appointment. And if you don't have that tool to be able to kind of get your body back into the relaxed, balanced mode, then you kind of almost feel like, oh, I just went to the chiropractor and I just got out of the car wrong and now I'm back to where I was. So I love that it's so empowering and teaching people really how to heal themselves.
Absolutely, because, you know, nobody needs to be a health practitioner in order to do something really beneficial for their bodies. Like these techniques are simple enough that anybody can do them. And if we are consistent, and also if the client understands where their aches and pains come from, then they can do a huge difference for their bodies and in their lives, you know. So they can cut back on seeing the acupuncturist, the physical therapist, massage therapist. Like so many people rely on practitioners and on medication, or they go under the knife unnecessarily. So many chronic pain issues can be reversed without having to go under the knife. Not to mention that surgery will create scar tissue, and that it could open up a whole new can of worms, you know. So taking medications and having surgery, sometimes it's necessary, but more often than not, the pain could be reversed by just, you know, much more body-friendly methods.
Yeah, and then even if you have had surgery, I think this is even more important to implement a strategy such as this, because a lot of times after you have surgery, like if you have a knee surgery on one knee, a lot of times the other knee is taking so much of the stress because you're recovering on the knee that you had surgery on, that you're going to need to get your body mechanics back in balance. You're going to need to do some rehab on both knees, actually, the surgery knee and the knee that didn't have surgery, to make sure that doesn't have to, you know, go under a knife later. So I think it's so important for people to avoid surgery, but also for people who have had surgery to really, you know, bring them back into balance so that they don't have to do it again. And so, Eva, what's the time commitment in someone who's looking to use some of these techniques? How long do you have to spend each day working towards this?
You know, I recommend that people do the routine that I assemble, I design for them at least 5 days a week. But if they can do it at the beginning, if they can do it every day, that would be even better. But I understand that life happens. So I would say 4 or 5 times a week at least. I try and keep it manageable because I know that everybody has a life. And if it's too much, then, you know, people will not do that. So at the beginning, it's maybe 20 minutes and then it adds up a little bit to, let's say, 30, 35 or 40 minutes. I try and keep it definitely under 45 minutes so it doesn't take up too much time. Also, it's not something that you have to like lock yourself into your bedroom and do it, you know, away from your family, but you can do that as you're watching TV at night with your family around you. When I want to work on myself and let's say my favorite show is on, I just roll out my yoga mat in the living room and I do whatever I need to do on that specific day. You know, if my upper back and my neck is tight, then I foam roll, I roll out those muscles, I do some specific stretching, I do some mobilizing, because a lot of times it's the lack of mobility that gets to us. For example, the way I'm sitting right now, I'm a little bit hunched and my head is a little bit forward. So if I did that for 8 hours every day, I would be in a lot of pain, right? So thankfully, I'm only doing it for a short period of time, and I just reminded myself as I looked at myself on the screen. So, nobody has to do these exercises locked into the bedroom. You can totally roll out your mat in the living room, watch your show, talk to your husband, talk to your kids. Your dog is going to be all over you because we know that as soon as we lay down on the floor, the dog shows up. So I try and keep it under a manageable time.
Yeah, that's totally reasonable, especially taking into consideration that you're going to be doing it at home. So there's no getting in the car, driving to a practitioner's office, waiting in the waiting room. And right there, that's going to take you more than the whole treatment would take you at home with Eva. So I think that's fabulous. Is there any pain involved with this, like foam rolling? Do people have to go to the point of pain? Or is it just...
You know, I always say that there's a difference between good pain and bad pain. Yeah. When you go and get a massage and they work you deeply and you're like, oh, it's so good, it hurts, but it's so good. So that's the kind of pain that you need to expect from foam rolling or using just a tennis ball on the muscles. Also, what else we need to understand is when a muscle responds to pressure with pain, that's not healthy muscle tissue and something needs to be done about it. Okay, because I could press on the back of my shoulder and I could find some really tender spots, or I could press on some other parts and it's not hurting. So I know that the tender area needs to be addressed. Something needs to be done about it because it's not going to go away on its own. So there is some discomfort. I can't deny that, but soon enough it's going to go away. Plus, if somebody is very sensitive to pain, we can use a softer foam roller, or we can do the exercises on a softer surface, on a bed, or on a more on a softer, thicker mat. So it can be altered to the individual's specific needs.
The reason I asked that question is there's some people that get scared away from foam rolling because they think they're doing it wrong if they apply pressure to a muscle that is a little tender. But you're right, there is a certain level of discomfort. It shouldn't be like a sharp shooting pain, but you should feel that you're working into that area, and that's usually the area that you need to work into more. But you do it gradually, so it's not like it's going to be excruciating or uncomfortable. Awesome. Yeah, so Eva, wow, this has been phenomenal. Like, it's just so eye-opening how easy it can be to really take your life and your body into your own hands to overcome pain with the help of someone knowledgeable like yourself. So I really appreciate that. You actually also have a free gift for our audience too. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I once filmed this 3-part video series about lower back pain because I think that's one of the most common pains that people suffer from. So in the first video, I'm explaining the postural causes of chronic back pain, okay? Because unless you were in a car accident or you were thrown off of a horse or something like really dramatic, really traumatic, aches and pains in the body build up gradually. Okay. And what leads to it is postural changes, postural deviations, and faulty movement patterns. So I explained that in my video. And people can do a little self-assessment to see if they have those certain deviations or not. So it's a big eye-opener, you know. You could be like, oh my God, I totally carry myself that way. I totally have that posture. No wonder my lower back is hurting, right? So it's a really fun video because people can learn so much about themselves. In the second video, I'm teaching a couple of different techniques of how to alleviate that lower back tension. So we use a tennis ball on the back, and after that, I teach a mobility exercise that also serves as a strengthening exercise. So it's really great. It has many benefits. It's very mild, very gentle. Anybody can do that. And after I released these videos, the feedback I've got from people was just phenomenal. Like, people were emailing me that, oh my God, that exercise, I'm still doing it because it really helps me and I like it so much, and it completely took care of my back pain. So I think that, and the third video, I'm just explaining people how to stay on track and how not to fall off of the wagon, and just, you know, do a little bit every day, and it's just a little encouragement. So I think that the videos are great. I encourage everybody to watch them and practice them. You're not going to get hurt. They are very safe, and they're going to teach you something that you probably didn't know before. So you can walk away with a lot of knowledge and just the confidence that you can do something about that lower back pain.
Oh, it's wonderful. And so you guys can all download those videos at the link right below this video. But I love, it's kind of like a little taste, a little introduction into everything that we've talked about today. If you are experiencing lower back pain, you can really kind of try it out and see what it's like. And, you know, if you're experiencing knee pain or neck pain or anything else, still you can watch those videos and you can get the concepts down and see how you can apply everything we've talked about into your own life, and how, you know, you can reach out to Eva and she can give you that personalized instruction, so you don't have to guess. You don't have to do it by yourself, and you don't have to take pills and have surgery to get rid of your pain. You can take it into your own hands. So thank you so much, Eva, for being here today. It's been so inspiring, your own story and how you just kept going and kept searching for more answers so that you could help so many more people. So thank you so much for doing that.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Michelle, again, for including me in your summit.
Oh, you're so welcome. And thank you guys all for watching today. I hope that you really enjoyed today's episode with Eva and learning how to really conquer your pain without pills and surgery. There really is no reason why any of you should be living in pain for another day. So download the free video below. Start getting started on your journey to releasing that pain and living a happier, healthier life. Thank you again for watching the Nature Cure Summit, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Hey there, it's Dr. Michelle, and I just wanted to commend you and thank you for spending a little bit of your day to do something empowering. I hope that you found value in today's content and that you'll go out and use this new information to improve your life, even in a small way. I want you to open up to the possibility of making today, this week, and this year the greatest possibility you've had so far to improve your life. This is about breaking out of old paradigms. It is about learning the act of living naturally. It's about honoring who you are and allowing all that is good into your life. I promise to continue to bring you educational, empowering, and inspiring content to help you achieve the body you dream about, but more importantly, help you live the life you deserve. Remember, all that you need, you already have. It's right here, in nature and within yourself. So stay tuned for some more value-packed interviews, and be sure to check out all of the resources at glownaturalmedicine.com.